What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're covering the Singapore Grand Prix, round number 15 of Season 2 of F1 2016 Career Mode. After this race, only 6 races to go in this season. It's a 21 race season, but it blows my mind every single time that we just smash through an entire season. So as you can see here, we have a sponsor bonus. 300 resource points has been added to the bank of points that we have, and that is going to put us over the limit in order to get our final upgrade on the car, and that is going to be fuel efficiency. So after this moment now, when we get to the next race, we're going to have a car that is fully upgraded, and after this there is absolutely nothing more we can do to make this car quicker. So we get an achievement for that, thanks to the team for making the car as quick as what it is. So we're at maximum potential now. This is our best chance now to try and win the championship, because if we were to continue into Season 3, the other guys would get quicker and quicker, and it would get very, very tough to win the championship with a much slower car. So we're going to head into qualifying now. Practice went fairly solidly. I was sort of running just inside the top 10. The pace isn't quite as convincing as what it was in the previous 2 rounds, but hopefully as the weekend progresses, we can find just a little bit more pace. It's time for quali.
The sky is dark and the lights are on. Welcome to qualifying here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore.
So here we are for qualifying 1 now. It should be mentioned that there is a slight chance of rain for qualifying 2, but there's only going to be light rain apparently. So we'll have to wait and see what that does for shaking up the grid. But in qualifying 1, I'm going to use the super soft tyres just to get myself through to qualifying 2 without any issues, so that when I get to the final 2 parts of qualifying, I can have lots of brand new ultra soft sets to get me closer to the front of the grid, because I'm not quite as confident in my pace this weekend, and I just want to have those extra sets of ultra soft tyres to get me closer to the front, give me more chances to get a good lap in. So at the end of qualifying 1, we can see Lewis Hamilton did not make it out of qualifying 1. Very, very interesting there. He gambled on a set of super soft tyres like I did, but I don't know what it is with the Mercedes, but it just didn't have the pace in hand to make up the difference, to actually get itself out of qualifying 1. Mercedes absolutely atrocious in the way of the development race. They've done absolutely nothing in the 2 seasons that we've been competing against those guys. So now, as you can see, qualifying 2, like I said, it's intermediate conditions. The session actually started out being dry, but the rain started right as the session started, and some people went out on dry tyres but weren't actually able to set a competitive lap by the time that the lap finished. Like, the track was already so wet. And you'll probably notice on the timing screens, there's going to be some drivers who set times on dry tyres who were like 15 seconds slower than the rest of us on intermediate tyres. And Daniel Ricciardo there, right at the death there, actually just got a lap in after being caught out at the start of the session on dry tyres. He goes to provisional pole position. Pascal Wehrlein, been ever so consistent over the course of this weekend. He's always been in the top 3, so he's looking very, very threatening in this race, despite being Singapore, a track where I've identified that this track might not be a strong one for us, but for Pascal, really suits him, and he's looking very, very comfortable. So now, this is qualifying 3. I've got actually 3 brand new sets of ultra soft tyres to use for this session, but due to the time constraints, we're only going to get 2 runs in this session. So we're going to use one of the ultra soft sets that we've got on now, and then at the end of the session we're going to use the free set of ultra softs that we get for making it into qualifying 3. So when we get to the race, we're going to have a brand new set of ultra soft qualifying tyres that we haven't used. So that could give us some kind of strategy advantage as we head into the race if we need those tyres. So end of qualifying 3 now. I set my banker, and now this is my final run. I'm actually going purple to the first sector, which is awesome to see, but the time needs to be made up in the middle, and particularly 3rd sector. So we'll have to wait and see what we can come up with in the final lap of qualifying. We need to make up about a second, and we've got 3.5-4 tenths at the moment, so we need to use up every last millimeter of road. Well, we took a bit too much there. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. We crashed out in qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix. And I want to show you guys a replay from the 3rd person perspective here. You can see we get very, very close to the wall, but I don't know, the impact or like the hitbox of the wall actually sticks out further than where it actually is. I lost my tyre before I actually touched the wall. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have hit the wall. I probably might have grazed it and might have been able to continue on, but yeah, the contact patch stuck out or protruded a little bit further past the wall, and that caught us out there. Bit unfortunate, but we're gonna start 4th place in this Singapore Grand Prix. And, you know, just little mind games here just going on in my head. I feel like I could have improved. I could have moved up further up the grid, so I know I'm definitely better than 4th place in terms of raw pace. Pascal Wehrlein on pole, which is great to see. He's in the best seat in the house. So let's go to the race where hopefully, maybe, we can challenge for the win.
As the sun sets over the South China Sea, the sport that never sleeps is alert and raring to go. Welcome, under the bright lights of the Marina Bay circuit, to another Singapore Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson is alongside me today. It's nice and dry up here in the commentary box. How are you, Ant? Hope you're well. Looking forward to the race?
I'm very well, thank you, Crofty. I forgot my umbrella on the way to the box, so I'm a bit soggy, but I'm sure I'll dry out soon enough. It's going to be an interesting race in these conditions. Obviously, you can pretty much throw the form book out the window when it starts raining. And the focus moves away from pure aerodynamic efficiency and more towards the balance of setup and definitely maintaining tyre temperature.
Okay, we qualified higher than we were anticipating. Let's see if we can do just as well in the race.
So here we are, guys, on the grid of the Singapore Grand Prix. Intermediate conditions we have for the start of this race. It's going to dry up though, thankfully, as the race goes on. So in these intermediate, these changeable conditions, we need to make an impact very, very early, because we know that the AI, there's the potential, just that little glimmer of hope that we can be the fastest car on the grid. We've proven to be very good in the rain in the last, 2 seasons of this F1 2016 Career Mode Championship. Our teammate starts from pole position. Massive rivalry going on with him at the moment. We've got Daniel Ricciardo, 2nd place driver in the standings as well. So there's lots of reasons, lots of motivation for us to find our way to the front and extend the lead of the championship that we have at the moment, which is already over 30 points. A win today would almost put us one hand on the trophy. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So we're waiting for the grid now to sort itself out, and then we'll get this race underway. The Singapore Grand Prix, 5 red lights, and away we go in the wet here in Singapore. Looks like a fairly solid start. Got the jump there on Vettel and also Ricciardo heading into turn 1. Let's see if we can take 2nd place off of these guys, and yes, we have managed to do that. So at the moment, it's a Manor 1-2. I can't believe I'm saying that. At this racetrack, I was writing us off. Maybe I would have been happy to score a top 5. I can't get my words out. I would have been happy if we would have got a top 5 in this race, but to be leading 1-2, absolute dream results at the moment. So next up is our teammate Pascal Wehrlein, and like I said, he's going to be a huge championship threat now that the car is fully upgraded. So for the next few laps, we're going to endeavour to close that gap to Wehrlein, who sets the fastest lap of the race on that one, obviously, because he is the race leader. He's got a massive lead. He's not even on the straight there, as we saw from the replay camera. He's 4 seconds-ish up the road, so we need to make some massive gains very, very quickly. In terms of the weather, that is going to be dissipating in the next 5-10 minutes, the engineer said. So I'd say around lap 10-ish. Maybe before that, we'll see a switch onto some dry tyres. Now, I don't know what tyres I'm going to switch to, so I'll have to have a think about that. Team radio.
The track is drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water off the line. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet.
Okay, so it looks like we might be thinking about a switch to dry tyres, maybe in a lap or two's time. But now you can see this is Pascal Wehrlein already catching up to some lap cars. This is Felipe Massa, and who else? It's Nico Hulkenberg. Wehrlein has lost 3 or 4 seconds on this lap alone. Honestly, don't know what they're doing. They're going so slow and not getting out of the way either. This is absolutely ruining Pascal's race here. He was in a commanding position just a few laps ago. We were chasing him down. We set fastest laps. But now the gap is down to nothing. and we're going to have a crack. We may as well. I want to get to the lead of this race. Pascal's made a mistake, and we go up the inside into turn 1. We've taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Fancy that. The fortunes of the teammates has just swung like so much ever since the start of this race. He locks up the inside front there, heading into turn 1, and that was all she wrote for the lead of this race. I feel so sorry for Pascal, but at the same time, he's made us pay for any mistakes we've made over the course of this journey. But meanwhile, this is lap 8, and everyone around us, like all the top teams, all made a switch on the dry tyres, and Manor here have been hung out to dry.
The right ones. It might be time to come in and change.
Thank you for that, engineer. Thank you for pointing the obvious once everyone else has flicked the switch onto dry tyres. So a lap ago, I got the message just as I was approaching the final corner. There was no way I could have reacted in time to come into the pit lane. So it was just very, very poor timing there, and I'm surprised Pascal actually didn't react first or come in first before everyone else. So Pascal's got to stay out the extra lap, and that's going to absolutely kill him in terms of track position and just overall lap time.
Complete. Go now.
Pit stop was pretty decent, 2.2 seconds. Now the crucial thing here is, are we going to rejoin in second place? If we do, it means we'll be effectively leading this race once all the pit stops shake out. The guys behind me have had one extra lap on the dry tyres. They get very close in the form of Ricciardo, but we still maintain second place. So once Pascal makes his stop, we will take over the lead of this race once again. You can see this is a Sauber of Marcus Ericsson having an engine failure right where the Marshall had a little bit of a excursion in the real-life Grand Prix. Lap 9, soft compound tyres are on the car, and you can see Daniel Ricciardo on the ultra-soft tyres is really applying the blowtorch to the back of me here. And this is Pascal Wehrlein at the end of the next lap, making his stop for a set of dry tyres. Now, we've got a yellow flag at turn 1 because the marshals haven't fully cleared Marcus Ericsson's car just yet, but we negotiate that fairly well. Pascal has dropped down to like 5th or 6th place there. I've actually made contact with the wall there, ran wide a bit. Ricciardo goes up the inside. I tried to do the under and over on him, but he just placed the car really well there. I couldn't get the switch back and get back around him there. So Ricciardo on ultra soft tyres has taken the lead of this race, and he is going to absolutely romp away with this one. I think I made a bit of a bad strategy call with the tyre selection. I was anticipating a lot of the AI to switch on to soft compound tyres with me, but unfortunately they didn't do that. And once again, this is lap 13. We saw earlier on in the race 2 lap cars blocking Pascal Wehrlein. Now we've got these 2 clowns blocking me as well. So I don't know what the AI are doing today. It's almost like YouTuber Championship, where Matt and Harry are a lap down and they're like slowing down and blocking everyone so they can blow them up. That's what that's reminiscent of. Absolute clowns those guys are, just blocking everyone. Honestly, no idea what they're doing. And then lap 19, like 5 minutes later, they're back at it again. Like, oh my god. I tried to go up the inside there. I got around him, but unfortunately for Vettel, he wasn't really close enough to really take advantage of that, and he got held up massively by those 2 cars.
Okay, just to advise you, we're expecting the tyre grip to start falling off noticeably around now, but this set should be okay for a while longer despite that.
Just discussing the tyre strategy with the engineer, asking him what the deal is. Lewis Hamilton and I believe Nico Hülkenberg have retired, and that is why Hülkenberg got spun out by someone, and then Lewis just went straight into the front of him. And that was both of their races done and dusted. At least Hülkenberg is now being taken out after what was an absolute mockery before, when he was like just being a lap car and just slowing everyone up. So we're doing a strategy change now. Not really a strategy change, but we're changing onto a set of ultra soft tyres. You saw Daniel Ricciardo, who led the race after he got in front of me. He stayed in front of me for a good 7, 8, 9 laps after that moment. So the ultra soft tyres can go a long way into this race. I must say, the tyre strategy, or the tyre wear in today's Grand Prix has been pretty minimal. So I fancied my chances of going onto the ultra soft tyres to really bang in a fastest lap and then not really suffer the effects of tyre wear. So that's what I was really going for. Set the fastest lap on lap 24. And from here on in, a few cars made their stops. Ricciardo, because he got back in front of me, you know, a very long time ago, like halfway through the race, he's just had clean air pretty much. And there's another 2 idiots getting tangled up with each other. That's Bottas and I think Gutierrez, but don't quote me on that. I can't remember who was showing as DNF'd in the screen there or on the graphic, but yeah, terminal damage for those guys. Now it's the last lap. We can see Kimi Räikkönen has been chasing me down for the last 5 or 6 laps on ultra soft tyres himself. I've locked up and ran wide through turn 1. That gives Kimi the opportunity to go up the inside through turn 3. Squeezes me into the wall, no less, and I lose a big chunk of my front wing there. Orange front wing damage on my right front end plate, and now we're battling away here with Kimi Räikkönen. I'm not too happy about that contact, to be honest. He could have left me a bit more space. But now it's going to be a battle for keeps here for second place in this Singapore Grand Prix. I haven't done myself any favours there by locking up, running wide again. Just went in there too deep. You can see on the wheel work there, I was really quite pissed off at this point of the race. And I gave Kimi Räikkönen a bit of a serve back after his antics through turn 3. And now we're trying to find a way around him. Rich Rebs, we might go for a dive up the inside into this left-hander. No, it doesn't really work out too much. The space really diminishes, and I think Räikkönen might hang on to second place unless I can dive bomb him here, but I thought about it. Again, the move was not really on. He was too far in front of me. So from here on in, I think it's all about settling on to third place and just securing our spot on the podium. It's been an interesting Grand Prix. I didn't expect to finish on the podium coming into this race, but I will definitely take it. Third place, another podium.
Brilliant job, mate. That's a fantastic podium. Super driving, really strong pace. Very, very happy.
Bloody hell, engineer. I've never seen you this happy. It's like I've won the World Championship. What's going on, fella?
A great win then for the Red Bull team today. So here come our winning drivers today, and what a race it was. There's been a big push at the factory lately to get these cars ready, and we can see the fruits of that labour today as Red Bull lift the winner's trophy.
So, not the best results in the world, but to be honest, I wasn't really targeting a race win heading into this race. You know, in qualifying, we were a second off pole position. We were second off our teammate to come away with a podium and almost looked like we were going to win that race halfway through. I'll definitely take that. I probably could have managed the race a bit better. Should have gone onto super soft tyres once we made the switch to dry tyres. That would have definitely helped me cover off Daniel Ricciardo a little bit better. But overall, I was pretty happy with the way I drove. Just unfortunate there that I let Kimi Räikkönen go on that last lap. I could have managed that a bit better as well. So to finish third in a track where it's Red Bull's absolute best track up there with Monaco and Hungary, you know, it's not too bad. It's definitely not the end of the world. We've only lost 10 points in the overall grand scheme of things in the drivers' standings. We still lead by 24 points. We've got some good tracks coming up. Like Suzuka, where we got our very first podium for the team, so that's definitely one where I might be targeting a race win. Yeah, just a few good tracks coming up, which I'm very much looking forward to. Mexico, Brazil, lots of straight line speed dependent tracks where we should be very, very strong constructors. We lead by 17 points, so we're still looking very good in both championships. So it'll be the absolute dream to come away with not only the drivers but also the constructors as well, and we will ultimately create a legend here on F1 2016 in Season 2. This is a 10-season career mode, and we could get the double in our second season only with Manor Racing Team. That's been this video for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you leave a like as well if you enjoyed. And until the next race, which I believe will be the Japanese Grand Prix, until then, guys, I'll see you next time.